Welcome to another segment of Mind Your Business, brought to you by IBC Bank. My name is Gabriel Castillo. I'm Executive Vice President in charge of marketing for IBC Bank, and I'm very happy to introduce today two very special people. Please help me welcome Terry Ramos, who's a board president of Laredo International Fair and Exposition, and Brisa Alvarado, who holds many hats besides board member, also with Laredo International Fair and Exposition. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you for having us, Gabriel.
Well, and you know, I'm going to start off by saying that you're one of the organizations that I'm most proud of. As an IBC operative, I have worked with many organizations, nonprofits, and we always try to help out wherever we can. But when I came to your event, what was it, 6 years ago, and I went to the arts, and you all know how fond I am of the arts, I was amazed at what you all were doing with that. I think you all really do an amazing job, not only putting something together, executing it, but bringing our youth into play here. And I think that's so important. With that said, Brisa, can you tell me a little bit about that portion of what I saw with the arts group?
Yes, we can proudly say that we've really grown the Laredo International Fair and Exposition Art Show. We started with maybe about 30 to 35 entries, maybe about 6 years ago, and now we've really grown the program, proudly saying that we have over 200 exhibitors that will be participating in this year's show.
300?
200, yes, 200. Over 200.
Oh my God.
Yes. So
okay,
very exciting.
That's a lot of judging.
Yes.
Oh, we're judges. Okay. Well, but it's fantastic. And let me tell you, all the work that I saw was amazing. I thought it was just beyond, you know, and I've been involved with the arts for many years, so trust me, I was very amazed with the talent of our young people. And with that said, Terry, on your end, first of all, I'm very proud to say that you're the first woman to serve as board president for L.I.F.E. And that's a feat in itself. And
Thank you.
And I know you're an amazing person, and I know that your background is education.
Yes.
And as we were talking earlier, your mom was an educator as well. So it's in your blood.
Yes, it is.
To help kids and to move them in the right direction and guide them along with your own children. Tell me more about the other items that L.I.F.E. produces here through this program.
Well, L.I.F.E.'s mission is to make sure that we give the opportunities for the children to have a well-rounded experience through agriculture, the arts, leadership, and that in itself gives them the opportunity to turn around, take it into the classroom, take it into their careers and life skills. So we're very proud that we are a very well-rounded program. Not everybody knows this, but it's a year-round show.
That's important.
You know, many people see that it's a one-week fair, but we are planning year-round, and not only that, throughout the year, we have many different events, beginning with the summer discovery camps that we have.
Yes.
Prospect shows that we have. We recently implemented a Pee-wee show for the little ones, so they can start young and learn young and have all those different responsibilities that in turn go into the life skills of the children.
And that's what's so important, because one of the things that I noted when I was there, I was participated in the auction also. That was another part that I had never been to officially, and I participated there too. And you know, I've seen throughout the years kids around the neighborhood walking around with their lamb, or walking around with their, you know, whatever, their animal, or feeding it and going at the store and buying things. But you know, I realized we have different school projects like that where you hold remember the egg thing, where you have to keep an egg for whatever to learn the responsibility.
Right.
But this is real responsibility. When these kids are, whether it's a rabbit, a chicken, or a steer, you're responsible for that. Feeding it every day, making sure it's okay every day. And you know, I think the difficult part that I found was when we had the last auction where I participated. There was a little girl who came out with a picture because hers had died, and she just showed the picture. I was like, she was crying because they become your children. They've learned from an early time how to take care of themselves and their animal, right?
Yes, and that's life. Gabriel, you know, they're learning from the time that they get their animal, the nutrition that the animal needs, the intake of food, water, and the training, because you are showing a market animal. And part of that is having the prospect shows that we provide so they can get hands-on training. Judges give a lot of advice to the kids on what to do, how to do it, And at the end, parents may be a little nervous, like, how is my child going to learn this? But you see the growth year after year after year, the students getting that leadership and confidence.
Exactly. And then, of course, budgeting, because they
Yes.
have to figure out how much they're spending,
yes.
because come auction time, they're going to want to hopefully make their money back, because they spend a lot of money there
Yes.
too. So talk about life skills. You're learning everything. You're learning about, financial, you're learning just really responsibility. You're learning about feeding, about nutrition. And, I think that's the part that I was trying to focus on through Mind Your Business, because agriculture feeds our community.
Correct.
Literally.
Yes.
So you all are providing that source, that resource for the community. These are going to be future ranchers, future, leaders in that field. That
Different trade as well.
Exactly. Because beyond the steers and all that, you also do other contents. Like you mentioned the welding, you mentioned the cooking, which is I love.
Wood projects.
The wood projects, all of those things, future carpenters, future, welding, my God, that's a very good field to go into right now. It pays off very well. So you're really building leadership in many, many ways.
And we're very proud. This year, we have 77 projects for the ag and woodwork. So it has definitely grown, and students are seeing the benefits that field in itself, that trade has.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think along the way, I think parents are realizing, and I hope more parents that are viewing the show will encourage their children to get more involved. I think they start at the beginning, and you were talking about something very interesting. You said at first the child was scared of the rabbit.
Yes.
She did want to, but every day you start learning it.
And gaining that confidence.
And I think that happens to a mom too. They're scared of the baby. I would have a baby. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have a baby now.
Yes.
So I guess it's the same way with the rabbit.
Yes.
How cute.
Yes.
They're adorable. But it is a life skill. And the other thing that's very important here to look at is the way you plan your projects. I understand what you were telling me. You try to spread things out throughout the year. So our viewers have opportunities to encourage their children to be a part of that. Brisa, I know you're involved in one of those committees that kind of pushes that. Can you explain a little bit more about how our viewers can get involved?
Yes, and I think it's very important that our community knows that we're only a phone call away. And I think that we have so many resources. You just call the Laredo International Fair office. They can guide you and direct you as to who you can reach out to. We have 4-H clubs in our community, and we also have FFA teachers at every campus. And we have sponsors at every campus that help with the art projects and the canning, baking, and sewing and the ag and wood metal projects. But really, any resource that's available for every parent in our community or any guardian is just a phone call away. They can just call us, and they'll direct them as to who they can call, who they can reach out to. What we want is for these children to know that there's opportunities in Laredo for them. And these nurturing skills that they learn, having a project through the Laredo International Fair and Exposition are, going to develop them and really gear them in the right path.
And I want to talk a little bit more about that. When we'll come right back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what they do. And let me tell you all the things that they do for the kids of this community. It goes beyond just teaching the life skills. They really are helping our children. But don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
How strong is your app's security?
KGNS aims to inspire, uplift, and unite our community while showcasing the incredible acts of heroism and leadership that happen right in our backyard. Show us your community spirit. Together, we can empower others and celebrate those who make our hometown a better place to live in. Join us every 4th Tuesday of the month to recognize the drive and commitment from citizens making a change. KGNS Honors, only on KGNS News.
Today, we're teaching the children to save.
IBC Bank teaches children to save. At IBC Bank, we believe financial education starts early. That's why we're bringing fun, interactive learning straight to the classroom. From hands-on workbooks to exciting prizes, our financial literacy sessions teach students how to make smart money moves they'll carry for life. Want your school to be part of the fun? Contact IBC Bank today and schedule your free financial literacy class.
Why pay a monthly fee? Free checking at IBC.
Welcome back to our show. Today, Mind Your Business is very proud to have Terry Ramos and Brisa Alvarado. Thank you for joining us
Thank you, Gabriel.
in our
Thank you.
show. They represent Laredo International Fair and Exposition. That's kind of your after-hours job, right?
Yeah.
Because I know you're in education and you're, of course, in retail and you're involved in marketing as well. So you know how this whole thing works as far as promotion is concerned. And that's what we're here to talk about today is all the things that life does to enhance the quality of life in Webb County and beyond, really and truly, because our children are the most important commodity in life right now. And how we guide them is so important. We see a lot of children lost to different things right now, and I think there's so much hate and so much bad just influences out there that's what this means so much to me, to have you all here and to have you be a part of this, because I want to talk more about this, and I want everyone to help you
Thank you.
support you in any way possible. But with that said, I want to also talk about how you have, which I think is not just cute, but very good, your junior board. Tell us a little bit about your junior board.
Junior board is a group that goes out and does a lot of service, community service hours.
And they're students, right?
And they are students.
They're the young people.
They are the
that's why it's
young
a junior
people.
board.
They are the young people. They're high schoolers that from freshmen to seniors that join that organization, and many of them join as freshmen, and they come all the way from freshman, sophomore, junior to senior year, and many times as seniors they get to be the officers of that organization. So we're very proud of our junior board. They've been around for many, many years, and they've done service to the community from food bank, blanket drives, toy drives, for the veterans, you know, little packages for them
Care
as
packages.
well, care packages. And so we are very proud of that program because it teaches them leadership, right? They are our ambassadors for our organization. And you'll see them out there in different events promoting, you know, their group and promoting life.
Well, that's all, you know, at the auction, I definitely see everyone hands-on. I mean, all of you, but I like to see the young people like responsibility, because you know they're carrying a clipboard, they're doing something important because they're looking around or checking things out. And you know, at an early age, it's okay, you know, to be responsible. I know a lot of people let their children call the shots and say, well, they don't like to do that, or they're, you know, you were talking about your daughter who's very shy, but you know, you need to push them out there, because otherwise they will stay in that little cubby hole, and you need to expose them to things. And you know, it's amazing to see the children that I see there. I mean, they're not all children, but they're different age groups. But you can tell where they're putting a real effort into their cooking or their art or the animals. You know, I see their faces, and they're looking at you like, please, do you really like what I'm doing? You know, do you really? And I could tell when we did the Arts Advocate exhibit. I know that's coming up soon. We're going to be honoring a local arts advocate. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, well, the art show is coming up, and that's a fun day, 3 days of events. We start our judging on February 10th. On February 11th, we're going to be having our art showcase, sponsored by International Bank of Commerce at the Lago del Rio, and that's going to be open to the public, and that's going to be an event that's from 4 to 7 p.m. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to the Laredo International and Fair office at 956-722-9948. And this year, we're going to have our art gala on February 12th, also at Lago del Rio, which will begin at 6 o'clock. And we are selling tables. We will be honoring Teresa Molano this year as our art advocate, which has done so many different things and is a very active artist in our community and really helps the youth and promotes artists all over the world. And so we're very excited about honoring her on Thursday.
You know, to me, that was also so commendable of you all to highlight other people in the community, because I think that also serves as an inspiration to our kids to say, oh, look, so-and-so, she's an architect.
Yes.
And she did the arts. And then she started this cultural arts district. That's, I mean,
It's
to
wonderful.
me, that was like really someone who's not sitting at home after work.
Yes.
Is literally that type of person. You know, and Teresa is an example to us all. as is our dear, dear friend who I love to death, our Rancher of the Year.
Yes.
Ana Maria
Ana
Finley.
Maria Finley.
Ana Maria Finley, if you all don't know her, you need to know her. I'm sure the whole world knows her. She's never met a stranger. She's a wonderful person. What a wonderful choice this year for Rancher of the Year as well. That was so much fun when you all crowned her with her tiara. That was
Yes.
so much fun. But you know, I like the fact that even at the Rancher of the Year, you had so many young people there, you know, involved that it just shows me that you all are really encompassing them in everything. And I think that's what's so important. And then, aside from all that, what I saw on your website was that overall, your youth involved in life get about $1 million a year in just scholarships. So can you tell me about the scholarships, the auctions, and all that? How does that work out? How do you do all that? My God.
So one of the things that I do want to give a big shout out to is our partners, our sponsors, our donors, our volunteers. Because of them, we're able to give back to the Webb County youth. Because of them. And so thank you, sponsors and partners and donors for that. So one of the things that we've been able to do for these past 2 years is give out $1 million in scholarships. And that is a combination of auction proceeds, awards, and those
sale.
scholarships, and through those sales.
And the sales, because I know some of the kids
Through
have
the
actually
auction.
sold their artwork too, right?
Yes.
You auction, you sell their artwork.
Yes,
so
sir.
once again, here we go. They're learning about, you know, how to make money, how to earn it, how to, you know, really how to work towards it as well. So another very important life skill, I think, in this whole process is marketing. And how are they doing that as well through the art, through what they're learning? I think they see you all doing all these programs, all these events. And, you know, one thing that I pointed out when I was talking about you being one of the first woman on the board was that your 3 leaders are women, you know, and dynamic women too.
Yes.
Leslie Benavides, who I think is, what does she serve as? I have her
She's
here.
our treasurer.
Treasurer, and then you're the president, and then Cynthia Mares, also a
Is
good
our
friend,
secretary.
as our secretary, your secretary.
Yes.
So great people, along with all the guys.
We have great leaders.
Yeah, you have great people.
Yes, great leaders.
And-
All our board is fabulous.
and you know, that's what amazes me is that the old saying says, if you want something to get done, give it to a busy person. And all of you are leading your companies or working or doing things, you know, full time, and then you're doing this as well. So it's very important that we get the support. This is why we're here, because I want our viewers to see that all the things that you do and how they can participate. And when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what they need, what their needs are, and how you can help. We'll be right back.
Hola Laredo, I'm Leanne Bernal, your new co-host for Hola, and I'm so excited to be a part of this journey with you. On our website, we're talking all things lifestyle, whether it's local spots you love or new ones you haven't discovered yet. If you have a story to share or want to be featured, send us an email at hola@kgns.tv. We'd love to connect with you. And don't forget to follow us on social media to keep up with everything we've got going on. Laredo, this is for you. See you soon.
How strong is your app's security?
Reach the nation's fastest growing audience. U.S. Hispanics are digital first and ready to engage. GDM and Espanol offers a full suite of digital marketing solutions to reach Spanish-dominant and bilingual Hispanic consumers. Delivering ads in your audience's preferred language means higher engagement, more conversions, stronger brand loyalty, and growth for your business. Let's connect. GDM and Espanol. GrayDigitalMedia.com.
Welcome back to our last segment of Mind Your Business today. I'm very happy to welcome Terry Ramos and Brisa Alvarado, who are talking all things life. And I don't mean life in general, I mean Laredo International Fair and Exposition. So we've heard a lot about what you all do, how you all do it, who you involve, and it's amazing. Like I said, I can't give you enough kudos and applause for all the work that all your team does, because it's really amazing. When I became a part of it through IBC, I'm very proud to say IBC is a very big supporter of you all. We try every way we can to help you out. I really brought this to my boss, and I showed him everything without hesitation. He said, yes, let them have, whatever they need, whatever they want, because we care about that. Let's face it. We're one of many, like all your sponsors that are out there, that know that without a good future, let's face it, without kids that are successful, we don't have a community that's thriving. We don't have a good economy. If our kids are not doing well, they're not buying homes, they're not buying cars, they're not putting back to the, so we need to keep that going. And I think you all are doing that too.
Thank you.
Very well. So thank you for the work that you do. And especially because you all are busy people. You have full-time jobs, you have families, but you take time out to do all this. And I want the audience to know that this is not let me take 2 hours out of my day to put this together. This is days and days, hours and hours. Cold. You all told me about those cold spells where your event is, you're freezing in the barn, putting up shows and doing whatever you do. But you do it for the love of the community.
We do.
That's the bottom line.
Sure
and I think that's what you do.
And we enjoy it, and we love to see our students prosper.
Yes,
in that.
exactly.
And you do see it. And I do have to say, and I want to add, the students do come back. And so they started first as exhibitors, club member of junior board or arts or crafts, and they do come back. And they are our future. And there are volunteers, and many of them maybe one day will be board members as well.
Yes, and that's the whole idea.
And that's the idea.
And so for now, I want our viewers to know your next event is February 22nd, which is the Life Fair, right? Where you do all the, it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I've been to it. So let's talk about that one part about the auction that I just learned myself. I still thank Leslie Benavides for helping me with that, because it was my first time being an auctioneer, not an auctioneer, being in an auction.
A buyer.
A buyer. And so tell us how the community can be a part of that. How can they help?
Well, we've had long-standing buyers for the Laredo International Fair and Exposition. Year after year, their countless support through all the trials and tribulations we've lived in the last 5-6 years. I think the economy has been a roller coaster, but we've still had steadfast buyers come out and support the children. They were once exhibitors, now they're giving back to the Laredo community. But I think without the donors, we cannot do what we do. Being a 501c3 does, take a lot of manpower to recruit donations, but having buyers come out to the auction is detrimental to our success for our kids. They've worked over a year with their projects, selecting the right project. After the fair, they pick out their projects and they come out, and if they place and they get to go to the auction to sell their project, that's what they look forward to. Coming out, you saw it firsthand, Gabriel, picking up the paddle and saying, I'm gonna bid on that auction item. And we can't do it without money, right? We can't do it without, IBC support and other donors that we have out there. And I think it's important. If you want to be a buyer, call the Laredo International Fair and Exposition office. Leslie Benavides is this year's committee chair for the auction. They can direct you to her, and they can show you exactly what happens. And if you're not available on February 28th to be at the auction, they'll talk to you about other ways that you can donate.
Yes.
And that's very important. Every dollar counts.
Yes.
Any minimal donation that someone in the community can make or outside of Laredo, we're willing to help and support our organization.
And
I want to add that you can do add-ons.
Explain what add-ons are. I keep hearing, I never understood what they were.
You're not necessarily a buyer, but you register because you want to give to certain students that extra money. So you become an add-on. You register and you just submit your monetary donation to particular exhibitors that you're interested in.
And that becomes a tax-deductible donation, right?
Yes, it is.
I want them to understand that that is a tax-deductible donation. So
yes, sir.
Joe Citizen wants to help out, and he's, but has $200, let's say.
Yes.
He can call you all and say, look, I've got $200. I want to help out for four
For
kids with their
students.
yeah. So
Yes,
that's 50,
and
50,
they'd like
50,
to
then you
give
divide it.
$50 to these four exhibitors,
helping out.
Yes.
and you're helping
doing
out.
your part.
You're doing your part.
And this
So to-
happens also. Do you do auctions for the food as well and the other items? Is
They can also purchase at the Canning, Baking, and Sewing Show. That's going to happen on February 9th at the 1848 Event Center.
Okay.
They can also, after the show that evening, they can go and visit. There's going to be an open time where they can go out and they can look at all the projects that are available, and they can buy something. So we pretty much open that up as well as for the ag and wood metal projects as well.
Okay.
That's also something that we offer for the community. They can go out. But, to the point that Terry said about the add-ons, it's very important that people know that. We have anonymous donors that go out and say, I want to give $10 to every exhibitor that's going through the auction this year.
Yeah.
So that $10 goes a long way because that adds up.
Yes.
And this really helps a child's future, especially if they're seniors or graduating juniors. They use it to buy a book, buy a laptop, put it all together for their funding for college and to, if it's a trade school that they're going to do.
And I see so many kids that are so hardworking. I know we make fun of this generation that they're not doing as much as our generation. We always say, in my day, I did this, I did that. Well, I mean, every generation has their kids, right?
Every generation has their strengths.
And I see so many good kids that are really putting their life together now because they realize mom can't help. Dad, he's barely doing enough. He has 2 jobs. And I hear when I do financial literacy classes, when somebody will tell me, well, my dad has 2 jobs, my mom has 3 jobs, one is part-time, one is only, she takes care of someone, a palomita. So you're thinking, oh my God, these parents are really struggling, but they're trying to get their kids ahead. And sometimes those are the kids that get furthest ahead because they don't have it.
They work
and they
hard.
strive for it. And
they work hard.
And I think that's what you do through your.
And we see a lot of those stories with our exhibitors, with our participants. They started young, raising animals, baking, arts, and today they are well-rounded citizens, giving back to the community.
And excuse me, we have a lease through the bank. And it's very hard to find ranch hands and ranch people that can work right now. It's kind of difficult. So once again, thank you for all the work that you're doing. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you being here because it means a lot to me. How much I care about you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
And so please, audience, look out there. Go to their website. There's a lot of information. I love their website, by the way. I told you all that. It's so easy to navigate through it. And there's a button that says donation. Click that donation button. I promise you won't be sorry you did that. And donate
Everything
generously.
really goes back to our students.
It does. It really does.
Everything goes back to our students, and we're very thankful. Very thankful for this opportunity so we can get the word out to our community.
Well, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
you.
Audience, thank you for being here for us and for supporting Mind Your Business. And continue to watch us on KGNS.TV. Join us on IBC.com. Join us on our YouTube channels. And share as much as you can.
Thank
we want
you.
everyone to know about what we're doing and great work that's happening here.
And remember, it's LaredoFair.com. There's a schedule of events that you can see this coming Fair Week, which would be February 23rd through March 1st. Hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
there.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.